Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Diesel Mercedes YouTube channel. This is my own 2007 Dodge Sprinter 2500 CRD with 210,000 miles on the clock. I bought it recently knowing that it will need a lot of work, so let's continue in this video on the maintenance, preventative maintenance, and keeping this van happy. There are many items I'm filming for this channel on this van for you. We dealt with the Black Death, one of the injectors. We will be doing a lot of stuff, but today let's go to do another very important step: removing, inspecting and cleaning this electronic EGR valve. And I will start with making space for myself, removing stuff which is in the way, and this filler neck, engine oil filler neck for this V6 3-liter turbo diesel engine OM642, right? It was the first year here in the United States. 2006 was still old body, old design, and 2007, this is first year of this generation. I will leave it there, that filler, because I don't want to have a hole and drop some screw or something in one of the valve covers. So this will stay, and just for purpose of filming I will remove another E10 which is right here. Hopefully you can see it, and that will help me to create a little bit more space for filming, because this will become loose and I will put it on the side. And moving it just few inches to the left suddenly perfectly shows the electrical connector, which is right here. If I push on the tab right here, I will be able to disconnect it, and it kind of shows all 4 bolts which are holding that EGR valve down. So coming from above, one E10 is here, second E10 is there, third one it's down there, and the fourth is right here. I will help myself with disconnecting this connector with this little pick, and I'm pushing it down, right? So that's already off. And now if somebody's cleaning it themselves, you might just remove the 4 bolts and lift it up and keep it connected with these 2 cooling hoses. I want to have the whole valve for a purpose of showing it to everybody on the bench. So I'm going to clamp these 2 hoses to stop leaks and disconnect them from the body of the EGR. Let me show you how I have it clamped. So both lines have a clamp to stop the coolant leaking. Now I will take pliers and move these 2 clamps up on the hose, and I will be able to disconnect it. Using long straight pliers, I can easily reach those, squeeze them, and carefully move them upwards. It's coming off too. Good. Again, it was just a little bit of spill, which is making me happy. I don't like mess. This is good. I will show you that new detail. I will always try to zoom on it for you, but this is the 20mm prime lens, so I'm stuck on the tripod, but I will keep showing you. So you remember these 4 E10s? This is how I will continue right now, and that should help us to lift this EGR valve upwards. Let's see how tight these are. That's totally normal torque, nothing excessive. Oh yeah, they are giving really easy, so nobody should have any problem with removing this floor. And let's see how stuck this is. All 4 bolts are out. I'm assuming it will be tight. And maybe I need a hammer and tap on it very carefully. A half minute more of wiggling and I think it's coming out. So voila, here, ladies and gentlemen, let me present you this little miracle. So since we are still here, this is from where we removed that. Here is that electrical connector which was there. There are a bunch of wires running by. So you can see all that carbon deposit inside. I will be trying to clean most of it. And here you see it standing by itself. These are those 2 cooling inlets. And obviously the gasket, which is between the engine and the EGR valve, came out. You can see it here slightly peeling off. Here you can finally see it upside down. Let's remove the gasket. It's slightly sticking, but you just heard a little pop. So this is always good to replace, and I have a new one ready. Here you can see that aluminum body, and this is that most important part. Let's see how those blades are loose. Huh, not bad. Oh, yes and no. The action is there, but it's kind of slow. You will see when we will clean it. This is the opening, and then right now it's in closed position, but that can open by using this electronic part. So we will be cleaning. This is basically our target, this area, and we need to make it perfectly snappy and easy to move. That needs some chemicals, so I will have here this work tray. We'll place it in it, and probably the best way is using the carburetor cleaner and some soft brush. Everybody hopefully saves their old toothbrushes for this purpose. You own the diesel vehicle, you better have those, don't you think? Meanwhile, I can start soaking with that carb cleaner this area. It will start melting it. Obviously this is the area which we are soaking, but we will be using that soft brush instead of something too abrasive like a steel brush. I don't want to be spraying it too crazily. I don't want to get that stuff in my electrical connectors. So I guess using just common sense, anybody should be able to clean this style of EGR valve. Also, don't ever forget the area in this opening. See that? That needs to be cleaned inside too. And this was basically goal of my removal, inspecting the EGR valve and cleaning. Have this unit in really good shape to know that these are moving freely and snapping really quickly back with ease. Did you see that? So this is fantastic, and I think this is totally enough to be installed. I checked that all 3 holes, these side holes, are also not plugged by anything, and they are free. Inside I have it nicely clean. So I will go get the gasket and install it back. And here is for everybody that number which came from Mercedes-Benz. So let's prepare that gasket on the body. You can see there are still kind of visible areas on the body of EGR. So we know this is the correct position. So let's say if this is electrical connector, this is how it belongs on it. So you remember how difficult it was to wiggle it out after the opening is clean. I pre-installed 2 of those bolts. The gasket is right here, the new one, nicely grabbing them, they will not move. And look at this. It should go absolutely smooth and easy in. So let me position it correctly. Look at it. Absolutely, there's no resistance. That's how easy it's supposed to be. Now additional E10s, the missing 2 are coming in. Again, that should go easy by hand. The threads are clean. So I will do all by hand and then I will start torquing it in crisscross pattern. So the hose will go all the way in, and then, as you remember, I will grab it, these long pliers, and carefully position it down there. Also, I like the details, so I will not put that clamp the way it will block that E10. So I have still access to the E10 here, and the clamp is on the side and it will not cause any problems. I will repeat that with this one. Now I can remove these. Everything is hooked. So the coolant can flow again in the future. I'll check that I damaged these areas where I pinched it. Everything seems to be fine. And the last is electrical connector. And it's good to be organized. It always pays off, I tell you why. Looking at here, you might think, yeah, I'm done. Correct? It's very easy to have that conclusion. Well, I still have one E10, so that immediately tells me, hey, we still need to put back this engine oil filler neck. So that's coming back with the last E10. And after that, I know I don't have any screws, bolts lying in my magnet. And this is definitely, this was the last thing. The amount of coolant which was lost here was so minimal. I guarantee you, you don't need to worry about the level in this cooling expansion tank. There's no way. It was just tiny bit of coolant which was spilled here because I clamped that. So that's not definitely issue and nobody needs to worry about that. My last thing will be right now I will open the shop, start the engine, leave the exhaust out, and I will check if I don't have any coolant leaks or everything is working perfectly. What do you think? I will say this is a really good maintenance. The gasket from Mercedes was $3 or $4 plus maybe 1 can of the carburetor cleaner. That's very affordable. It's really good to do that. You always want to know that your EGR valve is working correctly, it's not gumped up and these movements cannot happen. So I hope you find this video helpful on this 2007 OM642 engine. Be subscribed, I have way more coming your way. See you later, my friend.